Hey, good afternoon. I'm Ed Pozzuoli, CEO of Tripp Scott, and with me I have our COO, Paul Lopez, our expert also in employment. But Paul, first I want to make sure that we jointly wish our clients and all those viewers who watch these well and to be safe, and their families and their businesses as well. So, Paul.
And I join you in that, Ed. We're living through some challenging times, unique times to say the least. But we wish all of our clients and our friends in the community a lot of safety and well-being during these challenging times.
So Paul, one of the things that we're seeing in the new reality is an employer, there's a lot of challenges for employers now, but one of them is managing the workforce remotely. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's become a big issue. Obviously, this has not been a voluntary choice on our part. Many companies, many of our clients have gone remote. And what they're realizing is that it's a whole new world when you're trying to manage a workforce of, let's just say, 500 employees or 100 employees or 1,000 employees remotely. Whereas before they used to show up to work, brick and mortars, it was just business as usual. Now they're dealing with employees telecommuting, logging in, and one of the challenges is how do you manage your teams? How do you make sure that the work that is there gets done? How do you make sure that they meet production deadlines? So it's a whole new world that a lot of our clients are calling us these days. How do I do this? What kind of discipline do I still have in place given the circumstances we're in? And those are challenges.
So I take it the most effective way is to make sure that there are clear expectations as to what needs to get done on a per employee basis.
Right. One of the main things that we stress to our clients when you're dealing with remote situations like this, or when it's normal times and you have a large group of employees that are working remotely, you want to make sure that the expectations and the goals are clear. There's objectives in place. There's metrics that can actually measure productivity, because the truth is, you as an employer don't know if your employee's working or not. You're trusting them. They're working hopefully because they're logging in, but you don't know if after they log in, they're sitting around watching TV in their pajamas. So what we stress to them is make sure you have objective deadlines throughout the day so that you can kind of measure how they're working.
And what about some of the challenges of making sure the camaraderie of the office environment, the productivity, the synergy that's created in an office environment is at least attempted to maintain remotely?
So great question. And again, a challenge, because if you're not seeing people day to day, it's a little different wishing people birthdays and so forth, because they're not there. So one of the things we do stress to our clients is every day or every week at least, try to make sure that you're personalizing your contact with your employees. If you're managing a group of people, whether it's 20 or 30 or 100 people, make sure somehow there's a personal connection between you and those people on your team. What you'll find is if you're doing that and you're affirmatively reaching out and trying to make sure that there's that connection, you'll find that they're more engaged, and in fact, it feels more normal.
And of course, we've talked about the new environment around the Leave Act and everything that occurred the last couple of weeks. But Paul, let's zoom ahead a little bit. Let's talk about the new reality after this coronavirus passes. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But what's some of the new employer obligations that we're going to see post-corona?
It's going to be a laundry list of things to deal with. Number one, hopefully as things start getting back to normal, employees are going to come back to work, and you're going to have to start reinstating them. For example, if you have employees on furloughs, you're going to have to start bringing them back into the fold. You're going to have to start putting them back on the same trajectory or the same track they were on before they left. What's going to happen with your managers, midline managers? Are those people going to be up for promotions this year? Are they going to be up for bonuses? Are they going to be up for raises? There's a host of questions that still probably in large part remain unanswered, but every day, we're watching all these things. The new laws that have come into place literally just happened a few days ago. So if you have questions about issues with reinstatement of employees, make sure you speak to your lawyer, speak to us, speak to people that you trust so that you can kind of navigate back into the new normalcy after things calm down a bit.
And do we see any additional obligations on employers come potentially post-corona on how to deal with seniority that might have got interrupted or benefits that might have got interrupted, those kind of issues? We haven't really dealt with any of that yet.
No, great question. And the truth is, the new Coronavirus Act works very similarly to the Family Medical Leave Act. So people are supposed to come back in the same equivalent position. And what does that mean? What does that look like? What does the company look like? If the company has taken a significant hit, Does the company then have the obligation to put that employee back in the status quo, or is there going to be a change? And does that create some level of rights that the employee is going to say, wait a minute, I've lost out on this. I should be reinstated to the same position I had before. And the company says, well, we can't do that. We have a new reality now financially, so we can't do it. We're going to be watching this stuff very carefully as it evolves, because the rights that are out there have expanded, and some of it is uncharted territory right now.
Well, Paul, thank you. I wanted to make sure that we got this video out to our friends and clients because I want them to begin to change mindset by focusing on what's happening today and maybe looking forward to what the new reality is going to be a month from now or 60 days from now or 90 days from now, and some of those questions that we don't yet have answers to, but at least we could start to think about them. So thank you.
Thank you, Ed. Great being with you.